So if you look at Line in Japan, Line right now is the largest publisher in Japan. The difference between Line and Kakao, Line it's its own publisher, whereas Kakao is a third-party platform. And I think it's a very very different approach on how you publish your games on the platform. In Line has only 40, I think it's about 40 games, so it's fairly limited. But those 40 games are monetizing like crazy, and they are the largest publisher there. Anyway, that's. I think that if you want to enter this market today, you definitely need to look into those players. And Tencent, another one with WeChat, I think that their launch is going to be extremely successful.
So I want to go back and do a bit of advertising of us. Go back to non-incent and incent. So we do incent CPI model in Japan, and we can drive about 80,000 downloads in one day for one app on iOS. I know Cash Slide in Korea can drive about 150,000 downloads in one day on Android for one app at about 30 cents CPI. And this is crazy numbers. Even Tapjoy at its peak couldn't do half of that. No, not even. 1/3, 1/5 of that, 1/4. So yeah, I can add to that in Asia, incent is super strong. I mean, Erlend, I'm sure you've used plenty of budget in incent.
Yeah, well, generally we do focus on channels that drive highly engaged users, and we don't really see that coming from incent. And also, we do care about the brand and the brand integrity. I'm not sure if being on an offer wall and essentially bribing users into installing your game is gonna develop your game in a positive way long term.
Interesting. Now moving on to partnerships. Takeshi, you want to talk about, so if you're a Western developer looking into Asia, so we talked about platform, publishers, agencies. What kind of partnerships? I mean, we did all agree, I think we want to partner with Kakao, Line and WeChat. Yeah. That's a no-brainer. Publishers, well, what do you think about maybe third-party publishers?
Yeah, that's a good idea, and actually DeNA is kind of one of the candidates, could be. I mean, there are many close but cigar games in Japan. I mean, there are two types of failures in Japan. For instance, the games, there are very, very good games, but because of lack of marketing budget or marketing know-how in Japan, the people never discover the games. On the other hand, there are many good games which users really find fun, but because of lack of monetization perspective or live operation aspects, they are gradually running out of budget to keep the game. So I think, it's a very good way to find a really good publisher who understand very unique local market and also live operation knowledge about the game operation, and also who have marketing money. Yeah. So I think DeNA is seriously looking for partners, developers.
Yeah, no, I mean, totally agree. I think that having a local partner is key, not only for localization, of course, but sometimes culturalization in the game when necessary. So I think there's large players in Japanese market, agree that the other world at Adways, could definitely be candidates for this. And you should
add some more comment because I really know that market quite well. So when you partner with them, depending on how well your games are doing, right? If you are like a top of the chart, work really well, you have a lot of negotiation power to go to China. Yeah. Because in China, I know that market a little bit better, there's this phenomenon, I don't know if you guys know it, it's sort of mafia kind of things, okay? So you're talking about 91, huge Android-based game portals and a huge jailbreak version. COC's got to be at least 50 versions of, copy the COC. But it's kind of mafia things. If you're doing well, you can negotiate with them. And they basically, because I have friends who are companies in China and they do this, you negotiate with them with better terms, 3-7, 4-6 split or 5-5 split. But they basically, if they like you, you're doing well in US and see some traction in China, they will knock down all the pirate copies for you. So what I call mafia kind of operation. Okay, they'll say, okay, we like your game, we'll disallow, ban all the other, which they have monetized from those copycats. Now they will say, okay, we'll take out the copycats for you. So there is this, you really need to understand where they come from, how they operate. And in terms of localization, again, you can negotiate. Some of the partners are willing to do that for you because it's cheap labor there. Graphics designer, localization, they know how to do it. And they're willing to do it for you if you negotiate that term. But again, it depending on how much your power is in terms of the traction. If you just come out with a new game, you don't have the traction, you don't have any power to negotiate. So get to the point that you think that you can see some of the big numbers in China.
Thanks for that comment, Shirley. Moving on. It's just here, advices from every one of you. If there are Western developers over here looking into Asia, what would you say? Scott?
My advice would be don't have an Asia strategy. Have a very kind of Korea strategy for Korea, China strategy for China, and Japan strategy for Japan. Kind of touching on partnerships, I really want to emphasize this. Nobody has, let me word this correctly. You have your best own interest, right? Like, if you want to create a partnership, you're giving up something, right? Know what you're giving up, right? Sometimes a developer needs more than localization help. They need development cost help. They need server cost help. Know what you need so you know exactly what you're going into. Partnerships, the reason why partnerships are very attractive is because you kind of partner with a local market who has a know-how, but you know your game best, right? So again, you gotta meet as many players as possible, and I wanna go on the record saying, Korea, Kakao is dominant, but that does not mean you need to partner up with Kakao. There is ways to succeed without going through the Kakao channel, but you have to be aware of the market dynamics of how Kakao influences each market. And I would also kind of add, just be very, very focused. I think Supercell kind of paved the way of showing Japan, we understand, is a 50-50 iOS Android market, but our strength is in iOS, our strength is in tablet, so we're gonna do that first. And then now they're seeing kind of learning about the market more and then going with the Android strategy. And another kind of innovative thing is think about cross-promotion, right? And Supercell did a cross-promotion with Gung-Ho, got that stamp of approval from the Japanese users, but cross-promotion is huge. And I would argue there's a lot of cross-promotion happening in the US, but in Asia, not everyone is kind of realizing the value of cross-promoting between each other's games. Everyone is very, very protective of their own traffic and don't want to kind of they think of cross-promoting as losing a user instead of gaining a user from having a good partnership. So again, depending on the genre, the theme of your game, and how your users are monetizing, picking the right kind of channel and partner is, I would say, is a very, very, not a general topic where you could have one general strategy, is a very specific and targeted strategy for each game developer.
Yeah, I would say my number one advice would be to really look at your game and be very selective. If you have a large portfolio of games, be very selective into the game that you're going to pick, because it's very rare to have AAA titles that actually doesn't look like you could make it in Asia Pacific that is successful. It's very unique, and I think you need to have the brand appeal and you need to have the success prior to do that. If you don't have that success, then I would say number one priority is to look at your game, your physics, your game mechanics, your theme. Does it work in Asia Pacific? and then go from there. I think that if you have one game, a racing game, and you're trying to be successful in Korea or Japan or China, it's going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, as we talked about the thing, the market in Korea, Japan, China have evolved very independently, so they are very unique at this point. But I guess from now on, developers are learning from each other. So I think the good things and bad things are mixing together. I mean, for instance, there are many things which Japanese or Asian developers are really good at. For instance, live operation things. Vice versa, there are many things that Western developers are really better than Asian developers, like simple UI design or 3D art graphics or something like that. But we are learning each other. So I think at this point, when you look at the market in Asian countries, there are, the domestic developers are dominant. Maybe there are some exceptions, but I think from now on the situation is changing. So I think we should move fast, and fast take a lot. I mean, so Clash of Clans is a very good example. So I think we can go within those markets with what we are really good at, and by focusing on what we are really good at, there are many room to go into that area. For instance, in Japan, there are many card battle games. In other words, there are not so many good city building games or action games or let's say tower building games. So there are tons of opportunities there, and I think there are many chance, and fast mover takes a lot. So I think this is the time to move. So go fast is my biggest advice.
Great. Well, I feel like everything has been said. That's great points, and you really nailed it here, Scott. I do agree to everything you guys said. But you really have to emphasize on listening, going there and listening to the smartest guys in the particular market, and try to partner with them, whether it is it could be a business relation, or maybe just build some personal connections and get advice, right? That is super important. And then do one country at a time. So it's not Asia, it's Japan, it's Korea, it's China, it's Thailand, Indonesia, and they all need to be treated differently. So go there, you see the biggest potential first, and make sure to do it right. Let's say we have one saying internally, slow is good, and sometimes it is. You got to make sure you're ready, stay focused, and that you have the right connections, and then when all those are in place, then it's time to strike.
Thank you. So let's have a round of applause for our panelists.
And just add one last pointer, Ken. We are hiring in Tokyo, so there are open positions there. Yeah, we are looking for marketing, community, player support. We're even looking for that here in San Francisco.
Us too.
Asian. Thank you.
All right. So we're half an hour late. So 2 questions max, 2 minutes max. One.
So I have a question for Erlend. So Clash of Clans has been it's been live in the Japanese market for a while before your partnership with Puzzle and Dragon. So did you see any change in the KPIs after you partner up and cross-promote it with the Puzzle and Dragons? Was it the increase in the
No, I get what you mean. I think
was
the
it
question,
increase in
yeah.
installs, or was it the user qualities that
Yeah.
boosted your revenue?
So there was one other major thing that happened at the same time at the Gango partnership, which you could say somewhat brought noise to the data, and that's the fact that that's when we localized the game. So, whenever we localize the game for a new market, we just see, well, especially retention and engagement going to the roof, but the monetization as well.
All right, one more.
Yeah, so you talked about, this Scott, I think would be a good person, treating each market differently, region within Asia. So I think about smaller countries like Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong. How should I group those, like closer to Western monetization levels? How should I price those sort of user acquisition channels?
Ask this guy for the relative size of Nicolas would know.
Yeah, I can answer that. Yeah, I think it's closer to the Western market. What's really interesting in those markets, they are a smaller market, of course, but if you can make it to the top, and it's much easier and much cheaper to make it to the top over there, you can see some very, very, very serious revenue in the market that you mentioned. So, but yes, in terms of the content and everything, it's closer to Western markets.
Yeah, but Taiwan is uncut diamond. Recently, all the Chinese big games are going to Taiwan. Yeah.
Hong Kong
It's a
is
gold mine.
stream like Hong Kong.
It's
We've
gold
seen like
mine.
Hong Kong going like crazy. It's a small, tiny market. But there's things changing in those markets. In the case of Hong Kong, for example, it jumped like 20 spots, I think, up in the ranking on Google Plays because of the carrier billing. They started carrier billing integration, and when you start to see that, it's huge. It goes up the roof. So there are those small markets are definitely markets that people should look into for sure. It's much easier to get to the top. So.
Sounds good. So let's thank the panelists again, and we're done for today. Thanks a lot for coming.
Pretty good, man. I just want to introduce myself. Came out to check out the talk, and actually was interested in the business development sales force. Stumbled across that send my information in. So just kind of wanted to meet you. And
that was
Benitez. Yeah, cool. Yeah. So definitely think that the product you guys are working on is pretty cool. Party track format.
Yeah, cool. Oh, thanks, mate. We'll take a moment there's another guy too.
Okay. Yeah, no. I think the talk is really formative. I think there's a lot of opportunity. I think that you guys have an interesting perspective just from understanding the global market as well as having the tools to kind of put in people's hands here.
Sure. So what kind of experience do you have?
I worked for Google for 5 years. and past couple years just kind of been independent, doing my own thing. But interested and always kind of like kept my eye on the gaming market. You know, like at Google, I was doing AdWords, so online advertising, working with clients, did product quality, search quality for a couple of years. And so, definitely come from a background of understanding kind of marketing, client service.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, we at the moment we just want a salesperson. Yeah, we only have one person.
Well, I mean, I'm interested in like trying to get the product in people's hands, showing them the power of the product. I think that the product is pretty cool. I think that it's a matter of putting it in people's hands and letting them know what can do for them. And
Cool. Well, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, no pleasure. That's pretty cool.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? I didn't know you made it all the way.
Yeah. Good show. Thank you for hosting.
Yeah, man.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
How's it been? Busy? Good. I'm still waiting for SCJ.
Yeah.
Decision.
Yeah, I saw Elon maybe like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, and I know he went to Canada. I didn't know that your development team was in Canada. I was like, oh, you guys testing? He was like, no, our development team's there. I was like, oh shit, dude.
Yeah. So pretty much we tried different partnership opportunities. Right?
Oh, I see.
We work with China. It's hard. So we're looking into North America.
Yeah.
I want to get drugstores.
Cool, man.
Always open-minded. Just trying to figure out what the best model.
Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, thanks for coming over.
Yeah.
Where?
Good show. Thank you.
Where do you live?
You don't need to know anything. What did you ever live in China? I'm sorry? Did you live in China? I grew up in Taiwan. And did you? Rearranged China. Well, this guy.
I'm American. I'm not Japanese. Come on. I just happen to be.
Korean?
Gene. So you want us to hire you? You probably have though, because you probably cross paths with a lot of people.
The guy from that just joined. Yeah, Ben, that's right. Ben. Oh, really? Yeah. AppAnnie, yeah, exactly. He's good. Green and loving, and then he's pretty green. He's really good. Cover all of it.
Wow.
I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for him to talk to us.
Okay. Well, yeah, after he came, we're making a partnership with,
You have to add that one too?
I know. Okay.
Did you guys meet traffic?
Of course. I mean, I just came with my team.
Yeah, that's what it's meant, right?
Yeah. We'll definitely be able to show
China's so
hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at that video. You can buy from us. Oh, really? Yeah. You pay 90 cents, and then we can use it to do like cross promotion. Sure, we do. Yeah. Check it out. I think we've got more.
Alright.
We're able to publish it. You've been busy. You've been in Canada? So you have an office? You said they have an office?
No, that was my other friend. Wait, the product.
What about the developers?
Where?
Near Toronto, but not quite Toronto. Like a small town.
What about like I think this week alone, during the day, I've done it's going to be like a 4 separate events. What's your website? It's McHaleTech.blogspot.com. It's called McHaleTech Travel. McHaleTech.blogspot. Oh, yeah, Blogspot. that's what I think is a drug deal going on down the street while walking home.
Sorry about that. So Maryland, when I was, I wrote the NX1 and got off and Stanton turned me over to McDonald's. Then I wrote the feedback. And I was really that I didn't even pay much attention. And she said, and Brenda, I didn't even pay attention. And she said, she got a couple of cases of water. But she was parked on food there. So she was going to get in her car and drive it up to the parking lot for one of the CBS employees to put the water in the car. So I was really glad to see her. She said, tell you hello. She said she's really in love with you. You're such a wonderful young man. And I don't know if you've had a chance to check your phone, but anyway, Chris called me, and I'm glad he did. Guess what?
What?
Bishop Carson had a heart attack and died today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you eventually you'll see Kelly's message, text messages about it.
He sent text messages?
Yeah. But Chris had already told. See, I had my phone on, but you know how.
And he had begun losing a lot of weight. I noticed that. That's
well,
so
I'm certain he did it because it wasn't good for his heart. But
yeah, but still.
This was really, because he said the last couple of times he was at church, this wasn't there. I guess he was away speaking.
Okay, here, Mom. Here's the
A
receipt
few
from
weeks
the
ago, Chris didn't go. And I guess his mom told her that this was there. That's last time I at the wedding. 142, okay. So, can you leave the card here now?
Yes, I told him that I wasn't going to get the mouse pad worked on just because that would have been another $100 and something. So
What do you need done on the mouse pad?
well, the mouse pad isn't working, so I just bought a mouse to plug into my computer, and I'm using that.
You couldn't figure out about that other one?
What?
The one that you...
Yeah, that little one, I never got it to work, but this was $8. I didn't use the card for that, I just paid cash. But yeah.
Okay. Oh, here's your money. $120 for you to put on your flipper.
Oh. Okay. And here's the card.
Yeah, I wish you had, I wish you had been able to answer the phone this afternoon, because it's about 4:40 after when I was telling you I had the money, because I was going to bring it over to you.
Oh, that's fine. I really wouldn't have been able to make it over to the March 13th anyway.
Oh, you wouldn't? Okay. So have you gone to the Oracle?
No, I'm not doing that this year.
Oh, okay.
There's so much other stuff going on.
Oh, okay. Well, guess what? Team Oracle.
Yeah, I know that. I was watching it online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Now, talking about a comeback, they really made a comeback. Mateo, before you leave from in there, open the window, please.
Yeah, they won eight in a row.
Yeah. Mateo,
Yeah.
open the window before you leave from in there, please.
Okay, I will.
Thank you. So do you know what happened? What happened to make your mouse stop working?
Oh yeah, it was the battery.
Well, but you got...
No, the old battery was expanding and it broke the mouse pad.
Oh, I see. Because
I did that before I went in.
because since you got a new battery, I was wondering why it wouldn't work. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. I see. Okay is not the answer.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Right now, I'm just need to use the bathroom.
So, Dale, I need you to be mindful of things that need to be done, please. I need you to help us out money-wise. Make certain you open that window in there, please. You should have opened it before you started using the toilet.
I will.
You should have already done it, though. I got my clothes hanging up in there that I'm going to be wearing tomorrow. I don't want them to get all smelled up. Tomorrow I'm going to get on the bot and go ahead and to the post office box and get the mail. Tomorrow I was going to call police anyhow if I didn't hear from her, so I'm definitely going to call her. You open the window? because you really should open the window before you start using it. Cause, like I said, I got my clothes hung up in there, and I don't want them all smelly. It's my clothes I'm wearing tomorrow. will be the high tomorrow in San Francisco, 74 in Oakland.
Okay.